Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Everything Happens for a Reason podcast. So, on today's episode, we are going to be discussing essentially all the fitness mistakes that I personally made, or all the fitness myths that I believed at the start of my own journey. Because trust me, there has been a lot. And as a coach myself, and now obviously this is my job, is to coach women how to feel their best, feel their most confident self, and also avoid all the mistakes that I made, because trust me, I know how hard it is to bounce out of that sort of diet culture mindset. And yeah, I think these are important values to mention, because when you start off your health and fitness journey, like, the one bit of advice, and I know this is coming biased for me because I am a coach, but my biggest thing would be, like, if you are going into a fitness journey, or you're going into your fat loss journey, or whatever your goals are, and you genuinely have no idea where to start, and you don't understand the concept of workouts, progressive overload, nutrition, calories, if you don't understand that, invest in a coach. I know it doesn't have to be me, but you can. It doesn't have to be me. That's not what I'm saying. But invest in somebody that has knowledge and understanding about this whole topic. And the reason being behind that is because, don't get me wrong, social media is great for bringing value and teaching you how to do certain things 100%, but there's also so much information out there when it comes to calorie deficits and fat loss and weight gain and whatever else. This is good, this is bad, you should do this, you shouldn't do this. There's so much information out there that you'll just end up getting overwhelmed, and you'll realize that you tried this, then didn't work, you try something else, it didn't work, and you're going to be repeating the same cycle over and over again. Whereas if you actually invest your time, your money, your commitment into something and somebody that is knowledgeable and understands what your goals are and what you want to achieve, you will learn everything the first time round. And like, one thing I always say is, girls, once you learn this once, that's you for life. Once you gain that knowledge isn't going to leave your head. From there, yeah, you might need a little bit of extra support and accountability, a little bit more of a push, but you're never going to start your health and fitness journey from scratch. However, if you go into it and you don't understand anything, and you're doing the likes of like keto diets, over exercising, feeling like you have to go to the gym 7 days a week and just running yourself empty, you're constantly going to give up, because one, you're either not going to see results because you're not doing what you need to do for results, and it's not your fault, it's just your lack of knowledge, which none of us have until we actually learn it. Okay, so it could be literally just down to the fact of lack of knowledge, or you've done another fad diet, for example cutting carbs, and what comes with that is eventually you're going to introduce carbs back in, and you're going to binge, and the weight is going to come spiking, flying back up. So it's not sustainable, and you're constantly going to feel like you have to diet again. You have the next thing coming up and the next thing coming up. Like, you're always going to be in a diet phase. That shouldn't be the case either. Okay, if you have a good amount of weight to lose, in your opinion, at the moment, you should only have to lose that weight once. You should not have to lose it every summer. You should not have to lose it leading up to every event. You should only ever in your life have to lose that weight once, and then you learn how to maintain the lower weight that you've achieved, or the body shape that you've achieved, whatever it is. But you should not lose the weight. You have something on, then you put the weight back on, and then you have to lose it all over again. That cycle is toxic, and you are creating low self-esteem with yourself, low self-belief, because every single time you do that, you're going to constantly think that you're not good enough, or you're constantly failing because you keep putting the weight back on. But again, it's not you. It doesn't come down to, that you can't do this, or you're a failure, or your body's not responding. It doesn't come down to any of that. It just comes down to the lack of knowledge from the get-go. So yeah, that was a little bit of a ramble, usual. But like I said, I thought I would come on today and talk about the fitness mistakes that I made when I started. And honestly, I made them all. Do you know what I mean? Like, I genuinely have made them all. When I started, I was very young. I was 14 when I got into my health and fitness journey. And where it started for me was, I would go to a gym, do cardio, about 100 squats. Okay, this was before you even implemented weights, 100 crunches, and wonder why nothing was changing. Okay, first of all, I was probably too young to even be in that environment, but we're not going to get into that. Second thing is, no matter, you could do 100, 1,000 crunches squats if your nutrition doesn't complement what you're actually doing, and if you're not progressive overload, you are not going to change. You're going to stay the exact same. And unfortunately, I had to learn that the hard way. So I've definitely done that side of things where I trained 7 days a week. I was in the gym every single day, didn't understand the impact of recovery or how important actual recovery was for making progress. Because one thing I do want to address here is, girls, you do not make progress during your workout. You make progress during rest. Because what happens is when you work out, you're tearing your muscle fibers, okay? So your muscle fibers tear, they need time to come back together and recover. If you are constantly in the gym and you're constantly tugging and tugging and tugging at that muscle, it does not have the capacity or the time to come back and join together, like for the muscle fibers to reattach to grow your muscle. It doesn't have the time to do that. So if you're not recovering, your muscle is not going to grow. And muscle, see that toning up everybody talks about, you need to build muscle for that, okay? So overtraining will actually do more damage to your progress than undertraining. And that's one thing I really want to highlight, because a lot of girls be like, well, you know, I'm going to give this my all. I'm going to go into the gym 6-7 days a week. And yeah, I'll do this on top of this, on top of this. One, you're going to hate the process and you're going to end up giving up. Two, if you don't end up giving up, you're going to stick to it consistently, but your body's going to hit burnout. Your body's not going to feel safe. It's going to be under constant stress because you are not prioritizing your recovery and your health from that perspective. And there's so much more that comes with that. You know, when your body's under a lot of stress, or when you're not recovering, not sleeping properly, your hormones get put out of whack. Your cravings are going to be higher. You're naturally going to be hungrier because your body needs more fuel in general. And yeah, all of those things are going to impact your progress, not for the better. Even though you feel like you're doing it all and you're doing so much and you're doing a lot, and like I get this all the time, girls come to me and be like, I just don't understand, like for the amount I train or for the amount I do, why I'm not seeing the results. And the first thing I'll say to them is, you're doing too much. And yeah, people are like, but how? Like, you know, I'm trying really hard in the gym, and like surely like I'm working out so much, I should see so much results. And yeah, you would think that, but it doesn't work like that, because like I said, your body needs time to recover. You progress during rest, not during your training sessions. Now, please nobody take this away as I'm going to train once a week because I need 6 days to recover for my muscles to grow. No, you need to be consistent. Like everybody should be training a minimum of 3 times a week, okay? 3 to 4 times a week. Have 3 rest days in between. What do rest days mean? You're still active. Get out, get your steps in, do some form of movement. You're not just lying on the sofa feeling sorry for yourself on those days, you know? So we want to be staying active when it comes to that side of things. But yeah, like I know that's why, like whenever I made that change, and even not that long ago, like a couple of years back, I was probably doing 6 days a week. And it was more so because I loved my workouts. I was really enjoying training and that side of things. And then I pulled back to 5 days a week, and I seen so much more results than I was seeing beforehand. And it was just because the quality of my sessions actually improved. I was recovering better. My nutrition was improving, and all that put together, I was actually doing less but seeing more results, which is obviously what you want, because you're saving yourself some downtime. And like now I'm at a stage where I actually look forward to my rest days. Like Wednesdays and Saturdays are usually my rest days unless my week needs to be rejigged. And like Wednesdays and Saturdays I look forward to, because Wednesday mornings is my chill morning. I take my time. I can relax. This is her wash day, everything else. Do you know what I mean? Like I make nice things in around my routine when it comes to that, which is always good. So I do definitely recommend for you to have like a consistent routine throughout the week to obviously see that difference. But yeah, that would be the number one thing, or number two thing. I don't know how many I've mentioned now, but overtraining will jeopardize your results more than you ever know, okay, just in general. And then obviously I have to throw this out there because I feel like this is what I talk about all the time, but all those quick fix diets, all those fad diets that you're doing are not going to work, okay? Yes, they might work short term, 100%. You'll get the weight off like that and you're going to feel amazing until you don't, because you're going to binge, you're going to put the weight back on, and you're going to feel like crap in yourself again. So what is the point? Like I see it so often, like girls trying to get the weight off as quickly as possible, and then they're like, I'm going to maintain. You're not going to maintain, because in order to see that weight loss so quickly, you cut out carbs, you went on 1200 calories, you're over exercising, you're doing far too many steps, and yeah, life's going to get busy one week and you're not going to be able to do any of that, so your consistency gets whacked off, and you also won't be able to maintain that in the long run, because life's going to be life. And do you know what I mean? We all have jobs, most of us work full time. A lot of my clients in particular have kids. They're all mummies. They do not have the time or the energy to be under eating and overtraining to that extent, or like looking for that quick fix, especially with a family around them. And like another thing I do want to mention is, if you are somebody that's constantly stuck in that diet culture and like you're only eating salads, you're not eating carbs because you think they make you fat, and you're eating super, super clean, when your kids are around you, and this will probably affect women, as in girls, a lot more than boys, but it might affect your boys as well. Your kids see that growing up. Do you know what I mean? They see their mum being super restrictive, maybe not going out for meals, not ordering the takeaway with them, not enjoying that quality time with their kids. The wee girls are going to catch on to that, and they think growing up that they have to be the skinniest, smallest version of themselves as well. Like, that's where that comes from for a lot of us. You know, anybody that does have like a really unhealthy relationship with food or really struggles with that, think back to what your female influences were like around you as you were growing up. Like, was your mum always dieting? Was your granny always trying to cut down as much as possible? Were they always doing Slimming World because they felt like they needed to lose weight all the time? Because you're going to take that away subconsciously. You might have not been aware of it at the time, but you are going to take that away subconsciously, and then you fall into that diet culture as well. So if that is you, break the cycle now. Don't pass it on. Don't pass on that generational cycle of constant diet culture, because it doesn't have to be that way. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women like throughout my career since I started, and not once did I have any of my clients do a quick fix, cut their calories too low, or go really, really restrictive, not be able to enjoy occasions with their families, you know, they're having to say no to what their kids want. Not once have they had to do that, and all of them still got some sort of results. Do you know what I mean? Obviously depending on your own adherence, but naturally, like if you're sticking to a plan that is healthy, that is sustainable, you will see results, because everything else is being monitored outside of that. Once you start to understand calories, once you understand what a calorie deficit is, once you understand how you can still have chocolate and still have burgers and whatever else that it is that you want in your week or in your day to day, your whole life gets so much easier, and you're not constantly going to have that food noise. Food noise is whenever you can't stop thinking about food. Whether you're hungry, whether you're not hungry, you're thinking about what you ate, you're thinking about what you're going to eat next, you're thinking about the snack you want to have, you're thinking about something else. Like, everything around your day is food orientated. Like, if you're the type of person that is sitting down having breakfast and you're looking forward to lunch, that is food noise in your head. That just shows you need to heal your relationship with food. And I am obviously the biggest driver for that, because I came from a really messed up relationship with food. Like, I'm pretty sure I used to eat like salads Monday to Friday and then binge all weekend because it was a reward system for me. Don't recommend it. It doesn't work. You'll see no results, okay? We already all know this. I've done the super, super restrictive calories. Like, I remember at a time I was on 700 calories. Not by choice, but because I was working with somebody who was extremely unprofessional and didn't have a clue what they were doing. But yeah, I was on 700 calories at that point, which completely messed up my relationship with food, because then I got to a point where I was scared to eat more because I thought I was going to get fat. It does not work that way to start with unless your metabolism has crashed. So I had to reverse diet and actually come out of that, but it affected my relationship with food for the longest time. I started binging after that. I felt like I was out of control in my own body. All I thought about was food all the time, and all I thought about was the food that I wasn't allowed. And that just came from that lack of knowledge. It came from a restrictive mindset, and it came from a fear of my body shape changing if I ate any more than that. And eventually you're going to have to overcome that, okay? Because the longer you stay stuck in that cycle, the more it's going to tear you down and take away from you, okay? Like, I lost my confidence through that. I lost my self-belief. I hated the gym. I hated my health and fitness journey. And yeah, I knew subconsciously what was going on was wrong, and I knew that I shouldn't have been doing this, and I would have never told my own clients to be doing this, but sometimes you do fall into that toxic cycle. And it's completely natural. But like I said, completely ruined my relationship with food. And then I took time to overcome that and really, really build on that. But your relationship with food should not take away your confidence, okay? You should be excited for events that you have on. You should feel excited about meals. I don't know, having family dinners, going on dates with your partner, whatever it is. Those are all social events that you should love and you should be excited for, not absolutely dread. But the issue is, it's not you, it's whatever you've been taught in the past or whatever you've grown to believe in the past, that you feel like all those things are wrong and all those things are bad. No, that's just coming from a sense of lack of control, and that's the main thing you need to overcome. Okay, and that's where binge eating and emotional eating comes from. It's that reward system. We're looking for that quick fix in dopamine, we're looking serotonin, we're looking to make ourselves happier and make ourselves feel better quickly, and a lot of the time that comes down to that reward system with food. And the same thing comes down to your childhood. Like, if you as a child used to have a tantrum and scream the house down, and your mum brings you a sweet to essentially shut you up, what's happening there is subconsciously that's rewiring your brain that every time you have a tantrum, every time you squeal the house down, you're going to get a treat. And then you're going to be nice. Do you know what I mean? And then you're going to shut up, which is essentially what your parents are looking to do, which I totally get, completely understand that side of things. But that's subconsciously what's happening in the child's head. And as they grow up, they associate food with a reward system. So whenever you're having a bad day, whenever you're having an emotional day, work has been stressful, your boyfriend's pissed you off, whatever is going on, the first thing you're thinking of is that Chinese when you go home, or that bar chocolate that you're going to demolish when you get home. Because in your head, that's going to make you happy. But in all reality, that's not the case. You're just chasing dopamine, you're chasing serotonin, which you should be able to get from different aspects, such as going out for a walk, taking a bubble bath, phoning a friend. There's so many different areas, but that's all your body's looking. It's just looking that serotonin rush, that increase in dopamine, and essentially happy hormones to be flowing again. So when it comes to my binge eating clients in particular, that's one thing I really, really get them to journal about. So if you struggle with binge eating and you have a binge, rather than just instantly going into I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, and telling yourself those things, because the more you put yourself down, the more you're going to believe it. If somebody else was constantly putting you down, eventually you're going to start to feel that way. You're doing that in your own head daily. You're constantly telling yourself you're not good enough, you binge, so you absolutely failed in everything you have to do, you're not happy, you're not hot, whatever the case might be. Whatever you're telling yourself on a daily basis, from I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, I'm not confident, I'm ugly, whatever it is, you are rewiring your brain to believe that, because your brain doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. Okay, it doesn't. It is not a fact that you're telling yourself you're a failure. It's not a fact. It's a lie that you've made up, and you're telling your brain that, but your brain doesn't know any different. So that thought just sticks there, and you're self-sabotaging every single time you do that. So whenever you end up binge eating, you telling yourself you're a failure will end up in more self-sabotage, because then you feel guilty, then you're going to restrict, and you're going to binge again. Whereas if you rewire your brain, so this is what I was saying, I have my clients doing, is if you have a binge, okay, let a couple hours pass, distract yourself in some sort of way. The binge is fine, it's not the end of the world. And then journal down your trigger, and which is essentially what caused the binge. Why did you binge? Was it emotional? Was it a stressful day at work? Was it you were hungry? Was it a particular food that triggered you? Write down the trigger and write down how you feel after it, okay? And get back to your next meal after that. That will help you. Every single time you do that, you will become more and more aware. So you might look at your journal at the end of the month and you see you've had 7 binges and 5 of them came from work or having a stressful day at work. It's not the binging you need to fix, it's your work environment. It's like, what's going on in your work? Why are you stressed? Are you taking work home with you? Is your boss a dick? Like, what is going on there? That's the aspect that you need to fix, because until you fix that, it's not going to fix your binge eating, because you put the 2 and 2 together, but the more you become aware of your triggers and your habits that are happening, the more in control you're going to get of all those aspects. So I think that's definitely a tool that has helped me previously as well, because I went from binge eating to completely restricting to then binge eating again. Then I overcame my relationship with food, and then I almost fell into the attitude of, I got to a healthy point where I could understand my hunger cues, and I understood when I was hungry or when I was full, and I almost gaslit myself to tell myself that I was full all the time, and I was under eating from that perspective then, which is not good either, so it's just staying on top of those little things and being aware of how you're talking to yourself, how you're making yourself feel, and how you're potentially putting yourself down and telling yourself lies and then believing them and self-sabotaging as a result of that, because your mindset is going to be the biggest dictator between whether you get results or not. And I speak about this all the time. Everybody can follow a basic plan. I can give you a workout plan. I can give you a nutrition plan. Everybody, as a grown adult, can follow a basic plan. But what not everybody can do is try to stay positive throughout it. And when I say positive, yeah, it is not all handy dandy. It's just not. Your health and fitness journey is going to be tough at certain aspects, but how you approach it or how you view your journey is going to be the biggest factor that affects it. Okay. And what I want to say in terms of that is, if you have gaslit yourself to believe that this is just the way you are, you just binge eat, this is just who you are as a person, you're not looking to change. You have essentially told yourself that, yeah, this is just me, so I'm just accepting it. You're just using that as justification for why you're not making a change, okay? And that sometimes comes down to you just not feeling uncomfortable enough. So what you actually need to do is ask yourself, am I happy with the way I look? Am I happy with the person I am? And am I happy with the lifestyle that I live? If the answers to those are no, you need to make a change, okay? So you telling yourself that, but you know what way I am, that's just me. No, change it. You can change as a person, no matter what your situation is. If you're just not a very nice person in general, I don't know, if you are not great at the job that you want to be good at, you can improve on all of that. Do you know what I mean? You can change as a person. You can change your physical appearance. You can change your personality as well. Yes, it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight, and there's going to be triggers that take you back, and that's totally fine, but you can change who you are. The only thing that's going to start that journey is you actually choosing to make a change and become a better version of yourself when it comes to that. So yeah, if you're constantly telling yourself, that's just who I am, that's exactly who you're going to stay, and that's exactly who you're going to become, because you don't see any different. Whereas if you finally tell yourself, like, I don't want to be like this, I want to be somebody that doesn't binge eat, I want to be somebody that's in control of my nutrition, that's in control of the choices that I'm making, you are going to become that person. Yes, you're going to have triggers and you're going to mess up along the journey, and that's normal. That's just part and parcel of the journey that comes with it. You learn from your mistakes, and I always say this, like, you could have the most perfect 8 weeks when it comes to your health and fitness journey. You could literally have the most perfect 8 weeks, and then boom, something's going to happen that's going to knock you off. And how you bounce back from that is going to be the biggest dictator between you and your results, okay? Because you could easily give up and be like, well, life got in the way, so I can't do this anymore. Or you can be like, life got in the way, I have to take a little bit of a back step here, but I'm going to improve on this area, or I can still focus on this area. You have to break down your barriers when it comes to that, but that would definitely be the biggest thing. And something I wish I knew at the time as well, because yeah, like at the time I would have told myself different things, like, I'm never going to overcome this binge eating, I'm never going to have a good relationship with food, I'm always going to be scared of eating out. Like, I used to tell myself that so much that I believed it, and I really thought that, like, eating out was bad and that side of things was just not healthy, when that's not the case at all. And yeah, now that's what we're all about. So that would definitely be the main things that I would sort of say. Like, if you're somebody that's struggling, take those aspects on board. Like, take those couple of aspects, like, make sure you're recovering. If you're like binge eating, or if you have an unhealthy relationship with food, do everything in your power to overcome that, because until you overcome that, you're never going to break the cycle, okay? You need to break the cycle to move forward. And your relationship with food is going to be one of the most important relationships that you have, because it's going to affect how you feel, how you show up, how you are on social occasions. It's going to affect so much. So make sure that if you're struggling with that, you heal it, or you make improvements towards healing it, because it does take time. And don't get me wrong, like, to this day, I would say I have a really healthy relationship with food, but whenever I was on prep, I thought everything was fine, but coming out of prep, I realized that I still had a lot of triggers, and I still had to work through a lot of things when it came to that. And it actually took me to stop tracking calories to overcome that. And now I feel like I'm in a really good place with food again. And even being in Bali, like, nobody really cooks at home here, so we literally eat out for every single meal. But I haven't had a single bad meal. Like, I honestly, or bad meal, I haven't had a single, like, off-plan meal or anything like that. I've had a couple of snacks and stuff like that, but my meals in general are fairly healthy, and they're making me feel good. And this is the most control I've ever had, because in the past, when I would have ate out, I would have hit the fuck it button and just went, oh, well, I'm eating out, so I might as well just eat crap. Because what's the point in, like, it's just going to be a waste of a meal. No, it's not. Now I'm eating foods that I actually enjoy, and most of the time it is healthy, with the odd little cinnamon bun and whatever else in between, which is fine. But yeah, I feel like I have control over it again, and I feel like being here has definitely helped that side of things, because it was out of my control from that perspective, But yeah, girls, I hope this was helpful, and it sort of like inspired you to sort of look at where maybe you're going wrong, or where you need a little bit of support on. on what you need to work through. And I've mentioned before, so Everything Happens for a Reason podcast is sponsored by the Glute Girl now. So if you do sign up to our coaching programs and you've came from listening to the podcast, just add Everything Happens to the referral code and you actually get our coaching at a discounted rate. And yeah, whoever comes from this episode is definitely going to be very, very valued, because we can understand, that you're struggling with those aspects and you want to fix them before they essentially get worse. And like I said, if at the minute you're feeling clueless, this is your time to essentially reach out. It doesn't have to be me. Align with somebody, align with a coach that you feel like really meets you as a person, that has the personality you want to see them have. Reach out to somebody that you genuinely feel like is going to help you with what you need help with, But yeah, if you're stuck and if you're struggling, definitely do reach out. And yeah, I hope you find value in this. This was definitely a episode that I'm super passionate about, because I know when I started, I struggled with all of these concepts, and to this day, I still do to a certain degree, And that's totally normal. Like, your fitness journey is never going to be linear. Like, I've healed my relationship with food, I've ruined it again, I've healed it again. Same with body image. Like, I was very confident at a stage, then I lost my confidence, then I worked on it, getting it back, then I lost weight again. Like, life does get in the way, but it's how you move forward and how you learn from every single one of those steps that you have, especially in your health and fitness journey, that matters the most, So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for listening. I'm going to leave that here. I hope you find value in it, and I will see you all next Wednesday.